the ball over in key situations, and then you got to be able to execute your transition offense.
Absolutely. As we take a look at our players to watch, Coach, two very talented guards in the South Lane.
You look at it, and they're guards that can do it all. You look at, for Nicholls, you look at Huffman. He's a kid that can hit the three ball. He's a kid that can get to the basket, shooting 55%, 43 from the threes. You look at King, on the other hand, he's the ultimate point guard. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. He can score, and I think he's the best rebounding point guard in the Southland Conference.
Well, as we take a look at the floor here tonight, one thing is going to stand out for you, especially if you've seen HCU play before, as you see a look there at the Nicholls huddle. The Huskies tonight wearing the throwback 1970s uniform, the Hustlin' Husky logo on the right side of it there. There's a great look from our crew. HCU gets a one-game waiver from the NCAA to wear these jerseys once a year. And, Coach, here's the good news. They are 3-1 in the last 4 years wearing these uniforms.
Yeah, but you guys remember this. Uniforms don't score. You got to find somebody to put the ball in the basket, and I think it's good to think in those terms. But this is a big game. Protecting home court, I think the two teams are pretty evenly matched.
The basketball's in the air. We are underway from Houston. So glad that you can make us part of your evening here at Throwback Night at HCU.
Yes, and HCU has made a lineup change.
Absolutely. Good catch there, Coach. Pierce Basil into the lineup. He's come off the bench ever since the end of non-conference play. Coach Chancellor, along with Pierce Basil and Andrew King, Max Kleincheck also out there. What do you think Coach Cottrell's drawing up with the three-guard lineup?
As you see, Marion get the offensive boards and kick it out. But I think what he's doing, he's hunting somebody that can give him a little punch offensively, matching up. Nicholls is not a big team, so you can play your second point guard. But Basil is a true two-guard.
Not afraid to let it fly, and he connects.
That's what he does best, to shoot the ball, not ball handling. You better get back.
Easy two on the other end for Merrick Nelson. Nicholls, the two-time defending Southland Conference regular season champions. Off to a bit of a rocky start here thus far, 5-4 after dropping their last game against Incarnate Word. Merrick stuffed and fouled by Manny Littles.
Coach Crocker right now not too happy with Basil, even though he hit the three ball. He thought he should have gotten back. Your point guard or one of the guards, either one of them, one or two, has got to always be back. Sometimes your big kids are on the offensive boards. If their man is dunking on the other end, they're not going to the offensive boards. You got to protect your post players going to the offensive boards.
Bonky Merring to the stripe, the transfer from UTEP.
Marion shooting 63%. I think he's got a great touch. I thought that percentage would be a little higher for a post player. He's got really good touch. But you're going to get back in transition against Nicholls. They're going to go up and down. They like to score a lot. They move the ball.
74.6 points per game for this group. In transition, Caleb Huffman, no. Let's take a look at their starting five. Huffman, quite easily their horse with 15.6 points per game. Merring with the rejection. Manny Littles with another touch. Post play will be a key here this evening as Littles levels the game at 4.
Littles does a nice job of getting inside Garrett, posting up, and then you got to get back because Nicholls is up and down.
Drew King coming off a career-high tying performance with 17 in the loss against Northwestern State. Bryson Long with the touch.
Yeah, and I think that's another key. Long has got to get some touches. Then when you get in transition defense, you're going to have to match up and find the right people.
This is Tyrese Terrell inserted into the starting lineup for Latrell Jones. Drew King turned away by Pierce Spencer. And Max Kleincheck keeps it alive. Kleincheck hit hard, no foul there.
What a pace. You can't slow down. Don't go get anything to drink. You'll miss about 10 plays.
No doubt about it. Huffman off. Pierce Spencer resets. Playing back in front of his family and friends. He's from Porter, Texas.
Yeah, Spencer does a nice job of running this team, getting the ball to the good shooters.
What a reverse lay-in.
Oh, and scores himself.
Tied at 6. Lake Creek High School product up in Montgomery up by 45. Both teams like to get out and run. HCU is a top 50 team by pace, according to KenPom.com. Kleincheck gets it into Merring, and then Bonke picks up the foul.
Great screen and roll then between Kleincheck and Merring. And then Kleincheck thought he had a shot, give it up to the big guy inside. Now you're drawing another foul. That's also, I believe in that. You got to put the other team's best players in foul trouble.
How about this for head coach Austin Klonch, coach, making a batch substitution with 3 different colonels coming into the game.
Well, his whole idea is to run up and down, play a lot of players, and get you tired.
Bonke Merring, no. There's the rebound to Eduardo Del Cadillo. And you mentioned it, Coach, a lot of different players seeing the floor here early. Easy 2 as Merrick Nelson, averaging 8 points a game, gets on the scoreboard.
Slips through the ball screen. You think you're going to set a screen. When the defender gets too high, they slip through it.
Nicholls up by 2. Bryson Long levels the game.
Bryson Long is one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the Southland Conference. There's so many good ones. We saw that Thursday night. They shot the eyes out of the basket Thursday night.
13 points for Bryson in that 94-78 loss to Northwestern State. Nicholls getting out and scoring early. There's Latrell Jones. He spent just 3 minutes on the bench, and now he's into the scoring column.
Jones has been player of the week twice this year in this league, and he can't even start for this team.
Pretty impressive stuff for the 2-time defending regular season champions. Kleincheck. Merring tips it in, and the foul.
What a great offensive play by Merring. Kleincheck shot the ball from outside. Merring got in positions, tapped it in. You look at it right now. What a shot. This is a tremendous offensive. This is so hard to do. Time it and tip a ball in and get fouled.
Bonke Merring will go back to the strike. Over 14 points per game. 11-7, as you see on your screen, against the Demons on Thursday. Player that HCU has tried to recruit a couple of times to campus. They finally got him out of UTEP after transferring. Bryson Long with some great defense there. It'll stay with Nicholls.
But Jones comes into the game, and now he's just instant offense. He just shoots the ball, shooting 44, 35%.
Here's Spencer, lost it. It'll stay with Nicholls, much to the chagrin of the HCU bench. Really good pace to this game thus far. If you like points, stick with us. 11-10, HCU come right back on Throwback Night.
Bravo! You use the Quicksilver card from Capital.
Nice. Since we started looking for a better cashback credit card,
options have been coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history.
Welcome to the neighborhood. Now, did you know that Geico could help with your homeowner's insurance?
When Wingstop made a chicken sandwich, you know they wouldn't make just one. Now you can have 12.
Nice. Since we started looking for a better cashback credit card,
Options have been coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
UFC 284. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Saturday on ABC and ESPN+.
It's Saturday primetime. Lakers, Warriors on ABC.
1-point edge here from Sharp Gym in Houston, Texas. Garrett Jones and Hall of Fame head coach Van Chancellor on hand. And coach, as we expected, we've seen a great pace to this game. What has HCU done thus far to get an early lead?
Done a nice job of transition defense, not turning the ball over a lot. If you're going to win a game like this, they've got one turnover in the first 4 minutes, and that's what you got to do. You got to play without turning the ball over.
Pierce Spencer and to Eduardo Del Cadillo.
Del Cadillo is going to come in. He's a big kid. He can score inside.
Pierce Spencer, book it. He is a natural shooter, and Nicholls connects on his first triple of the night.
Great ball movement by Nicholls at that time. They're coming out. They're reversing it really good.
Pierce Spencer had a big game against McNeese a couple weeks ago. Drew King. Out of bounds. It'll stay with HCU. Nicholls, again, we mentioned sliding a bit. They took 2 losses last week. They have dominated this series recently head-to-head. They've taken 6 straight against HCU.
Yeah, but if you're HCU, there's got to be motivation. It's payback time.
No doubt about it.
You don't want nobody owning you.
There's a steal. Huskies could not take care of the basketball against Northwestern State, but Max Kleincheck with a block on the defensive end.
What a great play by Kleincheck. He came in, he come off the weak side help. Tremendous defensive play.
Mox has really worked on developing that part of his game. The 4th-year transfer played last year at the University of Maine. Talk about transfers. This is a game where you will see a lot of them. As Merrick Nelson, one of those newcomers, previously played at UT Rio Grande Valley and Western Kentucky. 7 transfers on this roster. They've had 6 every single year since former head coach Richie Riley's first year, about 7 years ago. Bryson Long trying to draw HCU back within a possession. Kleincheck. Oh, tough roll. And Latrell Jones the board.
Went in, just popped out. But what a pace right now by Nicholls, getting up and down.
Latrell Jones, no. No Cadillo resets. Foul on Max Kleincheck as Nelson drives to the rim.
Nelson did a good job of trying to go into the basket, foul on the floor, ball out of bounds. But you got to watch this team. You watch him right now. Nelson does it. He's just really good at going to his weak hand and then stepping up, drawing the foul.
His first one there at HCU. Nelson on into Spencer. They are not afraid to let it fly. And you can see why. 34% from outside on the season as Nelson makes it a 7-point game.
Tremendous ball reversal. The ball was in the one side and it goes to the other side.
Bonky Merring, no. A couple bad hops off the Sharp Gym rim here to start for the Houston Christian Huskies. Bad turnover off the hands there of Lance Amir Paul. And more substitutions as Caleb Huffman is back into the game. Manny Littles also got the start tonight. Nicholls on an 8-0 run. HCU trying to break the scoring drought. Right back to the well. Bonky Merring drops in the deuce.
But what a great pass. Tremendous pass by Basil, the 2-guard for tonight.
Ball finds the corner quickly. Pierce Spencer with the long rebound. Jones for 2. Nicholls looking comfortable thus far from the interior.
It looks like they've lost 2 games and they've had nothing but defensive practices because they're really pressuring HCU right now.
It was an interesting week for them. They did have their game against Texas A&M Commerce canceled due to the ice storm up in the north portion of the state. They get the block in. They've got a 5-on-4, and they get a fortuitous bounce off the basket as Manny Littles lays it in for 2.
Bad pass, hit the backboard, came back down, and there just dropped it in.
Everything going the way of the Colonels thus far. HCU trying to break a 3-game losing streak. Moving screen and a foul coming against HCU.
When you screen in college basketball today, which I just completely disagree with, if you move any, if you take one little breath at all, there's going to be an offensive foul. You got to give the offensive player an opportunity to play a little bit.
Ron Cottrell will take a timeout at the HCU bench. 9-point lead for HCU. I'd say Nicholls against HCU. 12:33 left to go in the first. Still plenty of time left to go. The head man here at Nicholls. 5th year. He's a Houston native. Went to high school right up the street at Straight Jesuit. Coached the second youngest coach in the country at age 33. And it's kind of interesting. Contrast on the sidelines here this evening. Claunch with 5 years of head coaching experience. You got Ron Cottrell on the other side on the HCU bench. Recently coached his 1,000th game. Over 500 wins. The pure architect of this program.
And been at the same school 32 years.
Right.
Now, but it's time that HCU's going to have to hunker down, so to speak, on defense. Right now, you're at a crucial part of the game. You got to slow Nicholls down.
Nicholls leads by 9. Manny Littles, no.
Marion did a good job of putting his hands up without fouling.
Drew King can't get it to go. Pierce Spencer goes into the hallway going after that loose rock. Stay with HCU. Coach Cottrell makes his first change. Sam Hoffman comes off the bench. He started the previous 6 games.
See, I think sometimes Hoffman can come in and he's a high energy player. And right now, I think that's what HCU needs. Somebody to match the intensity that Nicholls is playing with.
HCU looking for answers on the offensive end. Kleinschek hard to the rim for 2.
I think when he's able to penetrate, that's where he's very effective. He's got great size for a wing player. He can just jump up and almost dunk the ball on that position.
Still just a 7-point game. Nicholls 10 of its first 18 from the field. Latrell Jones, the bank is open late on a Saturday night.
But does every opponent that comes into this gym just shoot the lights out on it? I think they have their best shooting night right here, not at home. I saw Northwestern State do it.
They put up 94 here on Thursday night, the victory over HCU. Long. Bumped. Whistle coming out on this end on the Colonels. Stoppage on the floor. Nicholls 24, HCU 15. We're just getting going here in the first half with 11:20 left for the break. Don't go anywhere.
We love our new home.
There's so much space.
But we have ants.
Expired.
Step back three. UFC 284. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Saturday on ABC and ESPN Plus.
The Pro Bowl games, today at 3 on ESPN and ABC.
Well, fans looking on, trying to figure out a way to combat this potent Nicholls attack as the Colonels open up a 9-point lead. Garrett Jones alongside the former Houston Comets champion head coach Van Chancellor. Coach, what has Nicholls done that's helped them build this 9-point lead?
Transition offense. They're 11 for 19. Anytime HCU misses the ball, they're grabbing it. They're sprinting out of there. They're playing 8 or 9 players, and they're getting easy shots on the other end. If HCU's going to get back in this game, it's going to be on transition defense.
There's Austin Claunch, 5th year at Nicholls, the 2nd youngest head coach in the country. Only behind Drew Valentine up at Loyola Chicago. Drew King into Bryson Long. HCU trying to get the 2-man game going. And man, that was rude. Merrick Nelson spiked that one right back at our camera operator.
Yeah, but you get the ball out of bounds, especially when you're getting it too close to the corner. You got to get it in bounds first and then hunt a shot.
Merrick Nelson with authority. Bryson Long. Tough bounces right now off the rim on this end of the floor.
See the pace that they're playing with. Anytime they get it, they push it so fast. That means all 5 players have got to get back and match up. If that went in, I'm going to say this. If Jones makes that shot from the center line, it's going to be a long night now.
Nicholls still over 50% to start.
Yeah, but that might have, he might have had a little too much confidence. Now you're going to see Nicholls go to a little press. They want to try to speed up the game.
Bryson Long. Bonky Mary. Mary out of Cypress, Texas. Long never got his footing. Bryson. Offensive foul. The Nicholls bench roars to life.
Right now, I was talking about their transition offense, but right now it's their defense. It's what's creating that transition offense. They're doing a nice job of getting in between. I think that HCU now is going to have to find some way to reverse the ball, maybe screen for each other, and because right now they're face guarding Long everywhere. They're not going to give him a shot at all. Little 2-3 zone right now by the Huskies, and I think that's a really good move because you've given up 24 points in 10 minutes. You got to find some way to slow it down.
We saw Ron Cottrell go to the zone against Northwestern State on Thursday as well. Nearly forced the turnover there along the baseline. Lance Amir Paul with a touch. Sweet step back jack.
I don't think they played last Thursday night. They'd suffered 2 losses the week before. I think they've been practicing all week with that in mind.
Hoffman the tray. That brings HCU back within 8. Del Cadillo might have gotten away with the walk there. Hoffman no. And Hoffman the board.
I like Hoffman coming off the bench because he looks like to me he comes off the bench with a little attitude. I should have been starting already.
Whistle there before Bonky Merring took it in. Our officials tonight, Eric Cronenbush, Steven Chiara, and Ryan Huber. Southland Conference crew. See a lot of both of these teams as Pierce Spencer will head to the bench.
It's going to be hard right now for Long to get a shot off because they're following him everywhere.
Bryson slips away, averaging over 15 points a game. Hoffman loses it. Huffman up ahead for 2. Back to a 10-point lead for Nicholls. Long. String music. And Austin Claunch frustrated on the Nicholls bench. Coach, if Nicholls is going to escape with this win, they can't let Bryson Long get going.
He was awfully upset. That's the only time in the first 9 minutes of play that you look up and Bryson Long has got an open look at the three. He's just too good a shooter. If you give him an open look, he's going to knock it down. Look, he ain't happy right now. He's forgot to score. He's thinking, hey, we can't play on the road and let HCU get back in the game because y'all can't find the best shooter in the Southland Conference.
Back-to-back Southland Conference regular season title. There's a look at Ron Control's huddle. He's assisted by Stephen Key, Byron Rim, and Judd Kinney. 514 Division I and NAIA wins. All counts the same. Coach Cottrell's seen a ton of basketball, trying to help his group get back into this game, get back within one game of 500 in the Southland standings. Lance Amir Paul, no. And Sam Hoffman grabs the miss.
Hoffman has come in and made a difference. He's played really well on offense, secured 2 defensive rebounds.
Drew King leaves it behind.
That's the turnover you don't need. You got to give up the ball. You can't be dribbling in a crowd.
Kadia, no. Sam Hoffman the rebound. Back-to-back double-digit rebounding efforts for him recently. Zaki Ayemi with his first appearance for HCU. He is the basketball. Kleincheck, bring it up.
Kleincheck is all, you know, when we sit here, we're talking about how many things have gone wrong for HCU, but they're only down 4 points.
Right.
And when you like that, hang in there. I think right now that Hoffman's come in and given them some of the energy that I think they needed.
Huskies 4 of their last 5 from the field.
And they played better defense.
Ryan Maxwell makes his first appearance. Latrell Jones, no. HCU trying to draw back within a possession. Long. Rushed the shot.
But he had a good look. That's all you can ask. You got your best shooter with a good shot.
Andrew King almost steals it. Huffman. Yemi off the miss. And suddenly Nicholls has gone cold. They have not scored in about 2 minutes of action.
They've got some good looks. Now it's not falling. Early in the game, it wouldn't do anything but fall.
Zaki Ayemi travel. Pierce Basil will sub into the game, but it will have to wait for media stoppage. HCU getting back in this thing. A 6-0 run has made it a 4-point contest. Don't leave us.
Every time you order a hot sub from Jersey Mike's, it's grilled fresh right in front of you. The sizzling, the chopping, the spatula. That's why I bring this. I call it dinner and a show. Look at that sizzle.
Number 17 for Danny.
Oh, that's mine. Gotta go, Aaron. Grilled right in front of you. The Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
The B1 Performance Patch elevates physical functions by transforming carbs into glucose used to fuel the body. Don't compete without it. Visit buyb1.com or on social media at B1Patch.
Today's the day. Hands up here, please. 1, 2, 3.
It's not enough to help him take his first step.
Got it. Good.
If we're not beside him for all the steps that follow. It's not enough that she can hear her own voice. If we're not hearing what she has to say. It's not enough to reduce her recovery time if we're not building a relationship that lasts.
You want me to walk you through what's going to happen today?
It's not enough to deliver breakthrough therapies or pioneer minimally invasive procedures.
Middle incision right here.
Or to be a leader in robotic-assisted surgeries.
Nothing to worry about.
If the people we treat aren't treated as people.
Such a good job.
Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Throwback night here at HCU. Everybody getting in on the fun. 4-point spread between Nicholls and the host Huskies. Under 8 minutes left before the break. We take a look at the rebounding battle here tonight, Coach. Both these teams very good on the glass. 1 rebound advantage for Nicholls, 2 in the offensive category, but the one that's sticking out to you, Coach, the turnover battle.
HCU's got 7 turnovers and played 14 minutes. And the last 2 have just been useless, trying to dribble in the crowd, and then nobody pressuring you and you walk with the ball. That just drives the coach. You got to be able to get good looks at the basket.
That's been a developing theme here recently for this group. They went on a 5-game stretch where they averaged just 12 a game. Zachy Ayemi fouls Merrick Nelson on the drive. Prior to that point, they had been averaging 17 a game. They've trimmed that number down to 16. As you're going to look here, 0-on-0 crime as Ayemi commits the foul.
Yeah, Nelson is shooting 57%. Always when you got players need to know that, because lots of times if you don't shoot free throws really well, your free throw bounces low. A good free throw shooter, the ball is going to bounce up there pretty close to them. But a shooter that's not shooting it very well, and I'll say all of that, and he'll make both of them. But he didn't even draw iron on that free throw, so that looked pretty good.
57%. Out of Plano East High School up in the North Texas area. Transfer from UT Rio Grande Valley, also played at Western Kentucky. We mentioned it has become a bit of a theme for this Nicholls group. They like to take in transfers. They've averaged 6 or more over the past 5+ seasons. And they find guys that oftentimes haven't found their fit at the Division I level quite yet, but they make it work here. Think about Ty Gordon, Southland Conference Player of the Year last year. Graduated in the offseason. Here's Basil. Rebound to Latrell Jones. Merrick Nelson. Hoffman all over him. Looks like Zachy Ayemi went over the back. And Zach befuddled with the call.
Yeah, I think that was a tough call. I think Ayemi thought he had inside position. Now, I had a monitor and about 8 bodies in between me and him, and I could not see it.
Marky Merrick back into the game for HCU. Lansamir Paul handling. Nicholls has led by as many as 11 tonight. Manny Little's right up Fondren Rowe.
Yeah, but nice sharing of the basketball. Little though breaks to the basket and is able to finish there. Tremendous ball movement. But right now, HCU's cut it down. They've got to get it back closer.
Kleinschek. Lucky bounce, and he cashes in.
When Kleinschek gets his feet planted and gets a little shot, he is so good at just stepping up and shooting the 3 ball.
5 triples for HCU thus far, Coach. Safe to say that's kept them in this game.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it.
Nicholls with a 5-point advantage. Big time 3, Latrell Jones.
That was a long ways from the basket. Let me tell you, that's a shot that you can't defend that. You just don't think a kid's going to make a shot from at the center line.
Bryson Long looking to answer. Kleinschek feeling it.
Kleinschek is playing now. He's got 11. He's shooting.
And a travel on the other end. HCU gets the basketball back with a chance to draw back within a possession.
I'm glad it's time that Jones it's time for him to come out of the game as hot as he's been lately.
Coach Cottrell getting his thoughts in. HCU will throw it in. Here's Basil along with Bonky Merrick, Sam Hoffman, Max Kleinschek, and Bryson Long. Here's Basil fouled. Tyrese Terrell, the guilty party.
I'm going to say HCU's going to run a little out-of-bounds play that's going to get Marion the shot inside.
Well, this is his specialty, Coach. I know you enjoy watching Ron Cottrell draw up out-of-bounds plays. Right back to the block it goes. Hoffman loses it. Paul on the steal. Huskies nearly get it back. Foul before the bucket. Lance-Amir Paul wants continuation. He won't get it.
Paul has come in from Nicholls, and his speed has just been very difficult to defend. He gets the ball, he penetrates to the basket, drawing the foul. He's very, very quick. But the game now is back down to 5. You got 4 minutes to go. It's turning into a great game.
Merrick Nelson with the turnaround.
Nelson has been able to make some inside post moves. It's been unbelievable.
Two-man game. Bryson Long denied. In transition. 2 points for Caleb Huffman.
We talked about Huffman and the opening. What he does, he just runs the floor so well. He's 6'4". He can just handle himself and make some great, great shots at the end.
Bryson Long. Struggle for Bryson to start this game. He's one of his first 5 from downtown. Caleb Huffman can't hit, and then a foul coming on Nicholls.
And Pierce, I like a guy. He's a youngster, but he knew immediately when he got fouled that the other team was in the foul trouble, so he gets to shoot 1 and 1. And I like that. He's shooting 72%. He's about to get a chance to score.
Really interesting game early on. Coach Cottrell trying to figure out a way to solve this potent Nicholls offense. 9-point game as we step aside.
Since we started looking for a better cashback credit card.
Options have been coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
How's it going? Oh, with interest rates up, I've been looking to get a better savings account, but all the options.
UFC 284. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
It's Saturday primetime. Lakers, Warriors on ABC.
Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Nicholls occupying a 9-point lead here in Houston. Derek Jones and the former head man at LSU and Ole Miss, Van Chancellor on hand. And Coach, ever since, I should say, HSU drew back within 5, Nicholls has been able to pull away and separate. What has allowed them to do so?
Number one, they've got 9 more shots. Why they've got 9 more shots? They've only turned the ball over 2 times. HCU's turned it over 8 times. I get more shots than you do, and then I'm shooting 51%, I'm going to have a 9-point lead. More shots, and taking care of the basketball. But HCU still in this game. You got to find some way to make some stops. And when you do, that's going to be really big. You got 3 minutes. Slow this offense down.
Here's Basil at the stripe. Very friendly roll for the true freshman out of Lincoln, Nebraska, Northeast High School. And if you weren't with us early in the game, Coach Cottrell made a change. Sam Hoffman came off the bench, and Pierce Basil was inserted as part of a 3-guard lineup.
Yeah, but right now, if you're going to get back in this game and win this game, you got to take better care of the basketball. And they can. They got good players. They got good athletes. They got Kleincheck tonight, I think, has played the best half of basketball I think I've seen him play this year.
When we talked with Coach Cottrell a couple weeks ago, he said we're starting to grow up and take better care of the basketball. Terrell drills the triple. The nephew of athletic director Jonathan Jet Terrell. Over at Nicholls, made it a 10-point game.
They just shot the eyes out of the basket tonight.
Kleincheck, no. Caleb Hoffman. Out of bounds, it'll be HCU basketball. Well, they needed that as Nicholls was getting on the break.
Right now, HCU, you close it down, try to get it to 6 or 7 right here at halftime. Always remember, every little 4-minute spurt you play, that's TV timeouts I'm talking about. You just got to kind of divide it up.
Hoffman scoops it off the deck. Bryson Long. Still can't find the range from deep. Sam Hoffman, no. Bryson. 4 different chances there for the Huskies, and what a bad break there for Nicholls as Merrick Nelson was laying down in the baseline and that basketball tapped him on the back.
But give the Huskies credit. They stayed after it. They had 2 wide open threes by a great shooter. He could knock those down. Huffman just had a little bitty chip shot that just rolled in and out. Right now, I'll say this in defense of HCU. They're having a hard time just getting a break. The coach over, he loves how his team's playing. He's done scored 42 points. He's got 2 minutes left to play. They got a bad break there. This kid just fell down, kicked the ball into a teammate, kicked it out of bounds.
Breaks are hard to come by in this league, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Hoffman, beautiful feed to Bryson Long for the deuce.
Giving up the ball to a better shot to a teammate.
Lead back down to single digits. 8-point margin for Nicholls. They've led by as many as 11 tonight. Merrick Nelson. They don't get the friendly hop. Final 2 minutes of the first half. From the gym opened in 1963. Historic home to HCU basketball. Drew King kind of throwing it back there, get to the rim as the point guard, and able to draw the foul.
King he's shooting 75%. Now, when you get free throws and you're trying to come back, watch King go to the basket, takes it up, got fouled. I think they could have gotten away with that, and I'm talking about Nicholls, if they just don't reach back, and I think Nelson could have gotten by without a foul.
Drew King at the line, true freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Austin Klotz will make changes. Tyrese Terrell back in. And Eduardo Delcadia back in as well. And Coach, how about the spark plug that Drew King has been for HCU, running the point after HCU had 2 transfers leave via the offseason? He's really taken over.
I don't think there's any doubt. King has come in and played more like Coach wants him to play.
Yep.
Like Coach Ron Cottrell wants him to play. And I think that's also vital, as you're seeing right now, a little full-court pressure trying to slow this team down.
I knew he'd get a steal. Got to get it over the line, and Terrell does. 6-point advantage for Nicholls. Travel. HCU gets the basketball back.
Yeah. I think twice Jones has traveled. He's not understood either call. But I thought this, when you plant your feet, you got to move. You got to take and establish a pivot foot. You just can't walk without dribbling the ball.
Kleincheck threw it off the rim. King keeps it alive. Extra feed, Bonky Mehring. The tip from Hoffman, no. Sam fouled hard. And Mehring de-escalates the situation there. Great job by our officials to get a handle on that as well. That could have been a chippy situation.
That's a tough break right there, though. They had two little chip shots. You see Mehring go up, Huffman go up.
7 offensive rebounds tonight for HCU. And that looked like that was just poorly leveraged spot for Sam there. No ill intent.
I think that Coach Cockle questioned that. But I think the refs did a good job separating it, getting it done, moving them back.
It's hard to say that there will ever be a tougher player on the floor when this guy is on it. Sam Hoffman just always willing to throw his body around.
Well, I've said it before, when this basketball eligibility is up, he's going to have a shot to play tight end for somebody. Got great hands, strong. Oh.
Coach Cottrell said he could easily be a defensive end on the HCU football team. So he misses the second. Sam said, back when I was in Brussels, Belgium, the only chance I had to get on the floor against some very good European players was to play hard. That was the only way I could get on the court. He's made a 5-point game here with the free throw at HCU. Final minute of this first half. Paul lays it in. Back to a 7-point lead. 35 ticks on the first half clock. King tried the circus shot. Foul number 10 on Nicholls.
As I said before, King's a 75% shooter. He gets 2. And right now, all of these little baskets right here before halftime are so vital. It's so much easier. I don't mean it's bad. It's so much easier to come from behind at 5 than it is at 8. Especially when you're playing a team right now that's shooting the ball and playing as well as Nicholls is. But HCU's hanging in there, doing a great job. They slowed them down a little bit.
See Drew King's stat line against Northwestern State on Thursday. Really helped them stay in that game. Unfortunately, the Demons kind of roared to life and took charge of that game late. Here's Basil's in for Ron Cottrell's squad. And Coach Nicholls came in with preseason expectation. They were the preseason ranked number 2 team in the league. But after Thursday night, you said Northwestern State very much in on the conversation for the league title.
If those 2 kids that played in here Thursday night play like they played, they're going to beat a lot of teams.
DeMarcus Sharp and Jamonte Black.
Black and Sharp just shot the eyes out of it.
5-point game. Max Kleincheck. Huskies can hold for the last shot.
Kleincheck makes a great defensive play. Now you can run it down. It's time to take it in.
6 to shoot. Kleincheck isolates. Bucket. Max Kleincheck makes it a 3-point game. Brings the Huskies within 3. It's just a 2-point hole at the break as the crowd absolutely loves it here at Sharp Gym. What a first half. Both teams filling it up from the scoring column. 44-42, Nicholls with the advantage. We'll step aside, be right back with you for Coach Chancellor's Hall of Fame halftime analysis.
It's so hard to sweep 2 teams. You look at baseball. How many times in baseball do you see a team ever win a doubleheader in baseball? It just don't happen.
All right, think about the NFL playoffs too. A team will often beat a team twice in the regular season. They'll lose to them in the division round.
I played LSU when I was at Ole Miss. I beat them bad 2 times in the regular season. I played them a 3rd time. I wasn't even close. Little 2-3 song by the Huskies coming out.
Nicholls led by as many as 11 in that first half. HCU finished on a 5-0 run to draw back within a bucket. Latrell Jones can't hit as they flip ends of the floor. Manny Little's denied by Max Kleincheck. Huskies can tie or take the lead. Basil fouled hard at the rim. He'll have free throws coming, but he earned them.
Basil does a nice job of taking the ball, kind of splitting the 2 defenders, going to the basket. And I think that block the shot, but leave the guy alone. You don't have to stand over him. I'll say that to anybody. You block a shot, act like you've been there before.
Here's Basil at the stripe, true freshman. All the way from Northeast High School, Lincoln, Nebraska. 72% at the line this year. He ties the game at 44. How about that, Coach? HCU has come all the way back.
Now, HCU's doing a little half-court trap. I don't think they're necessarily thinking about stealing the ball. I think they're just trying to slow down this offensive machine a little bit, take a little time off the shot clock.
Here's Spencer. Relatively quiet first half for him. 5 points. He averages 7 a game. Caleb Huffman trying to get going. He had 4 in the first half. Spencer couldn't even draw iron. It'll be HCU basketball, and the Huskies will have a chance to take the lead on this possession.
Last 3 minutes of the first half, the first minute of this half, the Huskies defense has gotten a lot better.
Mox Kleincheck with 14 first half points. Able to get it into Bryson Long. Nicholls looking to get back in the swing of things atop the Southland Conference, the 2-time defending regular season champions. HCU trying to get right back in the mix. Line check on Jones. Drew King. What a find. Bucky Maring takes the lead.
Unselfish play. You got to get back in transition against Nicholls.
HCU with its first lead since the early first half. Manny Littles ties the game.
Little does a nice job of hanging around on the baseline, seeing the shots made. Oh, we got a whale of a game right now. 46 all.
No doubt about it. Buckle up, huh?
Oh, yeah. Just going to get better and better.
Drew King foul. Want a continuation. Every time the shot goes in, you want continuation, don't you?
You think you're in the NBA. In the NBA, that would be basket good. I mean, all you got to do, you ain't got to be in the act of shooting in the NBA. You got to just be thinking about shooting.
Why is that? Is that just differentiation?
They want offense in that league. Everything what a shot by Long in the left corner. In that league, they want offense.
Bryson Long will bring you offense. One of HCU's all-time best three-point shooters, top 7 in program history. Manny Littles. Wow, missed everything. Almost got the board. And a whistle along the baseline.
Out of bounds. Marin was hustling. He just stepped out of bounds. And you don't get a new shot clock. You get 20. You got to be aware of that now.
Merrick Nelson will throw it in. Just now joining us, Nicholls had as much as an 11-point lead in that first frame. HCU has summited all the way back to a 3-point advantage. Here Spencer connects.
Spencer had a slow first half. It looks like he's come out determined to be a factor in the second half.
Playing in front of a lot of family and friends here who made the quick drive down I-45 from Montgomery, his hometown. Bryson Long. Getting fancy in the post.
Yeah, Long is posting up and made the shot. That's his 14th of the night.
What an answer. Caleb Huffman connects.
Huffman is just so, he's a 43% shooter. 40 is about the national average if you're a good shooter. He's above the national average.
Square at 51. Here's Basil. Dances. Merrick Nelson off the rebound. Here's Spencer starting to heat up. Offensive rebound. Merrick Nelson. Mox Kleincheck grabs the miss. Here come the Huskies. Mox with the finger roll.
Mox has played as complete a game as I've seen him play all year, carrying it basket to basket to basket, coast to coast.
Sports Information Director Jeff Sutton told us after last Saturday against A&M Commerce, he was beating himself up pretty bad. He's got a loose ball foul here on HCU. Went 1 of 10 from the field in that game. Did knock down 11 free throws, including the go-ahead free throw with just seconds left. But, Coach, he's clearly had a great week of practice and has put himself in a great position to score here tonight. Tristan Moore into the game for HCU. And Coach, he was one of those guys kind of got lost in the rotation at the beginning of Southland play. Now he's found himself playing some big minutes here in the Hebo Conference.
Yeah, when you get an opportunity, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much you played, how much you hadn't played. When the opportunity comes, you got to come through the front door.
That's what he said when we interviewed him post-game. He said, look, Coach just told me be ready, and I was ready. 8 points on Thursday night. Latrell Jones answers. Level at 53.
Jones is a player, but he likes to talk to the HCU football players after he's made a shot.
Husky football players over to our right. The first row seating. Basil. Tristan Moore. Moore. Here's Spencer with the rebound. Del Padilla, offensive. Oh, it'll go. Wow, they count the basket and the foul.
They said that Long was in the restricted circle.
Exactly right. Bryson Long picks up the personal. That'll be his first, HCU second. A lot of interesting basketball taking place. An opportunity to complete the three-point play for Nicholls. We get back. 55-53 Colonels. Don't go anywhere.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
When you live in one of the fastest growing cities in America, it's important to align yourself with a credit union that has a history of people helping people. Houston Federal Credit Union is a not-for-profit financial institution with over 50 years dedicated to helping families that live or work in the Houston area. We take pride in our competitive rates in several convenient locations. We give the Houston community peace of mind when purchasing your vehicle, buying your home, and preparing for your retirement. We're Houston's credit union.
At Jersey Mike's, they slice your order fresh right in front of you. And let me tell you, watching that can send a rush of emotions through a person. Excitement, impatience, baby-like wonder, indecisive, anticipatory chewing, nervous pacing, happy claps, and finally, jealousy, because that's this guy's sub. I should order one. Good idea. Sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Well, fans are having fun with this one. It was a 9-point lead for Nicholls in that first frame. HU was drawn back within 2. They actually had the lead here moments ago. Another great crowd here in Sharp Gym. Seen some great basketball since 1963 when it opened.
I was graduating from junior college in 1963.
About to suit up for the best bench warming career in collegiate athletics ever, right?
I had just finished one of the most distinguished careers ever. I was the 12th man on an 11-man team. I didn't get to play any, but that helped my coaching career. I was a little more sensitive to people who didn't get to play, and it made me always want to have my players' interest at heart.
For sure. Recently voted bench warmer of the century, Ben Chancellor.
No, the world.
The world. That's right.
State of Mississippi.
That's right. Okay. Went on to help you produce a very great coaching
somebody
career.
Always asked me why did I go to East Central Junior College. That was the only place I could get in. Nobody else would accept a poor student like myself. Now let's get back to the game. Nobody wants to hear about that. Let's think about who's shooting free throws. We got a 61% free throw shooter on the line.
Del Cadilla can't complete the three-point play. All the way from Italy, one of the few international players on Austin Klotch's roster. Does like to take a ton of transfers. And there's 7 newcomers to this team this year. Here's Basil, keeps it alive. Drew King with the turnaround. Lansamir Paul. Caleb Huffman. One of the best scorers in the Southland, can't connect. He has struggled tonight. 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 5 from outside. Long, denied. Wow, Pierce Spencer with the block. Paul out of bounds. It's off of Nicholls.
You know, you always say you dodged the bullet. Right there, HCU dodged the bullet. I thought that was going to be a dunk, but that always proves more hustle back, got in position, created a little uncertainty as to what to do. And that's just a great defensive play by Moore.
And how about this, Coach? Only the 5th turnover of the night for Nicholls.
Yeah, and they've run the ball. Usually a team that runs like they do turns the ball over some.
Latrell Jones called for the bump. That'll be Nicholls' 4th. In a game like this that's this close, whoever gets to the bonus first very well could find himself in a position to win the game.
Getting into you picked up your 3rd foul right now, and you haven't played but 6 minutes. That's just the difference.
King. After Tristan Moore. Telegraph the pass. Pierce Spencer on the steal. Paul. Foul. Drew King on the personal. Trying to draw the charge and then ended up kind of leaning and trying to draw contact. Lansamir Paul will head to the strike for the Colonels. %80 free throw shooter. Mentioned a couple international players on this Nicholls roster. Paul, one of them, out of Kingston, Jamaica. Played just 3 minutes in the loss last game. Coach Claunch likely seen something he liked from him this week in practice. 5 points for him in 18 minutes of action.
Paul has done a great job of pushing the ball, though. They like to run it. He's done a nice job of getting it up and down.
1 of 2. Tristan Moore the rebound. HCU trying to get back within a game of 500 at the Southland. As we get closer to the conference tournament, that first round bye becomes ever more pleasing. You also want to be one of the 8 teams just to make it in a very talented league as they get Del Cadillo for the foul.
But right now, you're in a game this close. It's just every possession counts. Every ball, every time you get it, every turnover, because it's going to be right down to the wire now, because the game's kind of settled into a 1 or 2 or 3 point game.
Price and Long looking to put HCU back on top. Hoffman, tough angle, doesn't matter.
I thought Huffman's come in, he scored, he's had tons of rebounds.
Paul, no. Hoffman grabs the miss.
See, Huffman's come in, he's had great energy. That's maybe 7 or 8 rebounds, 6 or 7 points.
To King. Hoffman. Book it.
I started to say I didn't like that shot, Sam. But when it went in, I said, what a shot.
He has brought some extra energy off the HCU bench tonight. Eric Nelson with a big-time answer.
I thought tonight Nelson's been the difference for that team. They got some high-powered people, might make all conference, but Nelson has come in scoring-wise and just done a tremendous job. He has 15.
Right back to Sam. Kleinschek. Would have been his 5th triple of the night. Del Cadillo. Beautiful handoff, Merrick Nelson. What do you know, Coach? We're level once again.
That's the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to play for it throughout the game.
Dozen minutes left to go. King, Moore. Out of bounds, it'll be Nicholls basketball. Tyrese Terrell back in, Caleb Huffman back in for Austin Quanch. You know, these are just the games that Coach Cottrell loves on that HCU sideline. His group has come to play this evening. Tyrese Terrell. Lantamir Paul. Right on Hoffman, what a finish.
Paul did a nice job of avoiding charging over Hoffman and then making the basket.
Kleincheck. Got the bucket. Will pick up the foul.
No basket.
No basket. Tough break there for the HCU bench. They were sure that was a three-point play. The fans think so as well.
And the whole HCU coaching staff thought so. They thought the basket was good.
What a game we have this evening. HCU with a chance to tie it when we get back. 11:29 left to go. Come right back with us for more from Houston.
International flavors also different. Original chicken, so magnificent.
Since we started looking for a better cashback credit card.
Options have been coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Saturday on ABC and ESPN Plus.
The Pro Bowl games today at 3 on ESPN and ABC.
It's Saturday primetime. Lakers, Warriors on ABC.
The Pro Bowl games today at 3 on ESPN and ABC.
Fans of all ages getting in on the HCU Elite Dance team. 2-point game here in Houston. Under 12 left to play. Garrett Jones, the former Houston Comets head man, Van Chancellor here with you. And coach, as HCU heads to the line, or at least gets the basketball with a chance to drop back level in this game. What's going to be key to walking away with the win here tonight?
You get transition defense for HCU and don't turn the ball over. You got to make every possession count. You've got to play this last 12 minutes with about 2 turnovers.
Kleincheck. Big triple tonight. He has come ready to play this evening.
HCU now is in a little 2-3 zone.
Back up on top. 6 lead changes tonight. Terrell. Wow, what a response. Tyrese Terrell not playing a lot this season, just 1.4 points per game. He's given them a nice lift tonight off the bench.
Terrell just comes in right now. Everybody they're playing has been able to shoot the ball.
And committed a foul on the other end. Sam Hoffman able to draw for HCU.
Yes, and now you got 11 minutes to go, and the next time that Nicholls fouls, HCU's going to be in the penalty, and I think that's really big.
Foul number 6 on the Colonels. King and Hoffman. Mox Kleincheck with 19. Drew King, a rare triple.
Going back and forth.
Tied again for the 9th time this evening. Drew King with 6 points. And Samir Paul keeps it alive. Terrell again from the same spot.
It's tough on you when you're in coaching and the kid's averaging a point a game. He comes in and hits 2-3 balls. It's hard to defend that type of shooter.
Tristan Moore. Hoffman off the glass and in.
Hoffman has come out and given him some kind of lift.
13 points for Sam. Kleincheck and Hoffman have combined for 31 tonight.
HCU now has had to go back to the switching man because right now too much outside shooting by Nicholls.
Sam Hoffman lost his shoe. Del Padilla in for 2. And they'll let Sam put his Under Armour sneaker back on. Looked like he more than lost it. Looks like he got busted up on that play. Let's take a look.
What a tough play. That's a tough break for HCU. Hoffman was playing awfully hard. Hard to defend when your shoe's not on. Terrell comes out after hitting 2-3 balls in a row. Now, I want to say that's just, a player does not understand that now.
Coach Quanch has gone very deep into his rotation tonight. In fact, 12 players have hit the floor this evening. Coach Cottrell going with the 10-man rotation. Hoffman, no. Tristan Moore, foul.
Moore shooting 91%. I think he's going to get an opportunity to 1+1.
HCU now into the bonus. So Moore will head to the stripe. Place starting to get loud, isn't it, on a throwback night?
Yes. Throwback uniforms, buddy.
See a good look there at HCU's Hustlin' Husky logo. They used it in the 1970s. They have to get a waiver from the NCAA to wear it every year. You might ask why. Well, if you look there at the front of the uniforms, you can see one number's slightly above the other. That's actually banned by the NCAA in the rulebook. The uniforms have to be clearly seen with numbers on an equal level. So Stephen Key and the HCU basketball staff have to approach the governing body every single season and ask them if they can wear them. They always get the nod. They've won 3 of their last 4 in these unis.
It's hard on the official to detect the number. That's what it's all about.
That's exactly why. They sure bring them a little juice every single year. Eric Nelson trying to give them some juice. Nicholls back up by 3.
You want to be a difference maker in the game. Nelson has been the difference maker so far in this basketball game with 8:49 to go.
King loses it. Paul out of bounds. The HCU basketball and the Huskies catch a bit of a break there.
Shot clock adjustment. Now they're going to go look at it on the replay.
Think about what's at stake for these two schools. Nicholls came in thinking that they had another team that was worthy of competing for a Southland Conference crown. So that's Amir Paul there headed toward the bench. Our officials will head over to the monitor to take a look. They're trying to get back on the horse here. They had a winless week last week, did not get to play on Thursday, so they were itching for an opportunity to right the ship. HCU, meanwhile, as you look at their bench, of course, the tragic loss of Darius Lee over the offseason really felt like they had a team that could compete for the conference crown as well. They got off to a hot start, winning 4 of their first 7.
This is all about the shot clock went back to 30. Nicholls never had possession, so it stays at 18.
Got the clock sorted out. HCU has lost 3 straight. But you wouldn't know that by the way that they've shown up and competed here tonight. Ron Cottrell, Stephen Key, Judd Kinney, and Byron Rim have gotten them in a position to where they can go toe-to-toe with one of the league's bests. 2 weeks ago on this very floor, they topped A&M Corpus Christi. Currently just a game back in the standings. Islanders have not lost a game since. Hoffman. Long loses it. Here's Paul. Great defense. It still goes. Lenzamir Paul.
Long thought he got fouled. And I think that the HCU staff thinks that he's got fouled sometimes.
5-point game. Kleinschek. 6th triple of the night.
He's kept them close in this game tonight. 21 points. But right now, HCU needs a defensive stop, down 2.
21 points, ties his HCU career best. Huffman, no. And the Huskies can tie or take the lead on this possession.
Huffman has struggled a little bit offensively tonight.
King. Wow, what a tough call there along the baseline. Drew was sure that he was getting a look at an N1. Here's the look for yourself. All kinds of body contact. Yep.
Yeah, a hook. If he'd have kept his arm inside, I think he would have gotten the call. I mean, I thought the basket would have been good. That's a tough call right there. You just don't see that call very often.
So King picks up his 2nd. HCU picks up its 4th. 2-point game in Houston coming down to the wire. Final 8 minutes where we return.
This is the letter I've been telling you about.
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. What I'm about to say is important. Never let them call you the next Tom Brady. When they compare you to the GOATs, tune it out. When they say you're a 6th-round draft pick, store it away. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror. The one who goes all in, all out, and has the crazy confidence to know that who you are today is just a piece of who you're going to become. This letter's for that you, the one no one will see coming. Sincerely, Tom.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
When you live in one of the fastest growing cities in America, it's important to align yourself with a credit union that has a history of people helping people. Houston Federal Credit Union is a not-for-profit financial institution with over 50 years dedicated to helping families that live or work in the Houston area. We take pride in our competitive rates in several convenient locations. We give the Houston community peace of mind when purchasing your vehicle, buying your home, and preparing for your retirement. We're Houston's credit union.
Back in Houston, great crowd eagerly anticipating the finish of this one. 2-point advantage for the visiting Nicholls Colonels, who had a very interesting week, as we mentioned earlier. Their game against Texas A&M Commerce at home was canceled, so they had to sit on their hands and wait to travel to Houston. Here they are. They played extremely well here tonight, shooting 53% from the field, but they've gotten a great comeback effort from HCU. Huskies were down 11 in the first half. They're shooting 50% themselves and are within a bucket. Here's Spencer fouled as he drives.
Spencer does a really nice job of driving to the basket, drawing the foul, and then He's not a great free throw shooter, but I figure his sample size is not too large.
Yeah, been a bit banged up this year. Suffered a spinal injury last year. Played through it. Out of Porter, Texas, which is up north of the Houston area. Nicholls always usually has a great contingency of fans here when they play in Houston. They've won the last 3 contests between these two here at Sharp Gym. Of course, Coach Klotz, as we mentioned, from nearby Straight Jesuit. That's where he went to high school, from the Houston area. Spencer also with a lot of fans here tonight. 1 of 2 at the line. HCU still within 3. King in trouble. They do not get it across. Violation on HCU.
Young players, remember this: when your point guard's getting doubled, you got to go meet the ball. You're standing away wide open, but he can't see you. If your other 2 wings or the 4 player or anybody, come back and help him out.
10 seconds call.
That wasn't King's fault. He's got to have an outlet. He's got to have someone to pass the ball to.
You don't see that a lot anymore, do you?
Yeah, but we want to sit around and shoot the ball on the other end, so to speak, without coming back and helping him.
Latrell Jones, no. HCU with numbers. Long. Marin keeps it alive. Long vacuums the rebound.
Marin does a nice job of tipping it out. You got another position. You had Long wide open, could not knock it down. Get another look.
Final 7 minutes from H-Town. King out of bounds off of Nicholls.
Paul knocked it out. King did a nice job of carrying it to the basket. But you got to realize now there's 2 seconds to go. Somebody's got to get it in and take a quick shot. Put it on the rim so you can get an offensive rebound. You don't want a shot clock violation here.
Maybe a law play here too. Hoffman did beat the buzzer. Pierce Spencer boards the miss. Kleincheck the steal with 1 hand. 2 hands are overrated.
I think this. What a game.
He does need 2 hands to get it back there along the sideline. Kleincheck. Oh my goodness, what a shot.
Now that was a tough shot. Goes up and just knocks it down. That's the kind that puts you and keeps you in a game.
6 threes tonight for Max Kleincheck. HCU career high, 24 points. Latrell Jones, no. Bonky Merrick keeps HCU alive. Final 6 minutes. Bryson Long.
That is a great set play that they ran. Passed it, got a backside ball screen. Away from the ball. Great pass, knock it down. Okay, here comes Terrell back in the game, left-handed. You can't slump off of him. He's too good.
HCU got back-to-back triples to roar back in front. They had 13 threes tonight, Coach.
Yes, and the crowd just loves it. What a great game here for the home crowd.
You buy a ticket, you want to see some three-point shooting. No basket. Lance Amir Paul fouled going toward it.
I thought Paul walked. That was just, I thought he, but now we got a lot of Euro steps in this league right now that I might not know much about. It wasn't there when I was coaching.
Sixth foul on HCU. 5.5 minutes left here for the Lone Star State. Paul denied. Blocky Merrick scoops it up.
I like Marion getting the ball and stopping. Don't dribble.
Final 5.
Let a guard handle the ball. You're on scholarship to rebound and score.
Turnover. Merrick Nelson with a soft touch.
Nelson for them has done it all. Scored, played defense, rebounded the ball. You name it, he's done it.
6-2 run for HCU. Kleincheck fouled on the drive. A little chippiness here as Nelson and Drew King get into it.
That would be the one thing, if I refereed a game, I would stop, Garrett. All this little mouthing back and forth, I say, guys, that's enough. If you don't stop them, put both of you out of here.
Here's a look for yourself.
You got Kleinstedt now going to the free throw line. My man is shooting 69%. You got to make the 1-and-1s count now. I said late in the game, the team that makes the most free throws is going to win this game.
Mary can't connect. Baki went for the rebound. Kleinstedt missed the free throw. Caleb Huffman, no, but he follows his own miss. Nicholls back on top.
But when you miss the 1-and-1, you miss the opportunity to score 2. It's not the opportunity to score 1.
Drew King hits the deck. Hoffman still has it. Bryson Long, Drew King. Season high 14 triples for HCU, and Austin Claunch needs a timeout.
No, they called a technical foul. I think they called a technical foul on King.
I think you're right. Austin Claunch was making the team motion. Maybe he didn't know about the tech either. Coach Cottrell sorting things out. It's getting a little chippy out there, isn't it?
Yeah. Coach Cockrell is saying that on the play before, Nelson was the one that went after King. He thought there should have been a technical there.
Drew King has 4. Lansamir Paul makes it a 1-point game.
I think this, you got to find some way to referee the game with 4 minutes to go that there's not going to be a technical that helps decide the game. That's just me now. Because both players have been and back and forth. It was on the other end, now it's on this end.
Yeah, that's well said. And you think about Drew King picking up his 4th as well there. And a timeout on the floor. 4:14 left to play. We are level at 81. Both teams want this one desperately. Stick with us for what will be a thrilling finish.
It's Saturday primetime. Lakers, Warriors on ABC.
UFC 284. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Saturday on ABC and ESPN Plus.
The Pro Bowl games, today at 3 on ESPN and ABC.
All here from Houston. 4:14 left to play, and Coach Chancellor, in a very close game like this one, you can't have this. Drew King looks like he talks to the Nicholls bench.
Looks like he's talking to a coach.
Right.
Now, probably that coach said something to him, and he answered it. You got to just be able to be under control. That cost your team 2 whole points. He's throwing his hands up. You got to have. You can't make that play.
Nicholls trying to get back to 2 games above 500, picked 2nd in the league. HCU trying to break its 3-game losing streak. Who will have it and who won't from Houston? Eric Nelson, hard to the rim, and he takes the lead for Nicholls.
Nelson just single-handedly just done the job. 23 points, rebounds, played.
11 lead changes, 14 ties. HCU keeps it alive. Bryson Long. Nicholls basketball. Lance Amir Paul settles it down. Offensive foul.
What a great play by Bryson Long. Tremendous defensive play.
We got a timeout on the floor. 3:26 left to go as you see Paul just armbarred there to push off of Bryson Long. 83-81 our score. 3.5 minutes left to go to decide it. Don't miss the finish.
Nerds. How's it going? Oh, with interest rates up, I've been looking to get a better savings account, but all the options.
Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
We did it, Wilbur! Huzzah!
Saturday on ABC and ESPN Plus.
The Pro Bowl games, today at 3 on ESPN and ABC.
Our game reset here in Houston. Game reset with Nicholls leading by 2, HCU basketball. Each team with all their timeouts. Both teams in the bonus as well. And what has been a chippy one here from Houston, Garrett Jones and Van Chancellor. You could just tell both teams really want this game. Both trying to break losing skids. HCU trying to get to 3-1, keep the 4th win going in the Hustlin' Husky 1970s throwback uniforms. Sam Hoffman with Bonky Merrick. Hoffman. Drew King with a reset. Mox Kleincheck. Hoffman with the offensive board, and he's fouled.
Hoffman
Nelson on the bump.
On those two possessions, Hoffman did a great job of rebounding the ball. Now he's going to get to shoot 2 free throws. And people always ask me, why did I believe that 2 free throws is easier to make? You got to make the first one and a 1-and-1 to make it. At least if you miss this one, you still get a second one. Now it's coming down time. I told you with 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go, the team that makes the most free throws. Right now, Sam's got to knock these down.
11 lead changes, 14 ties tonight. This thing has been about as even as they come. HCU narrowly outscoring Nicholls in the second half, 40-39. Nicholls had a 44-42 halftime lead, but they led by as many as 9 in the first frame.
Yeah, Hoffman's had a really nice game of basketball. 13, maybe a double digits in rebounds.
Buckle up for the last 3 from the Lone Star State.
Got to defend somebody now. It's coming down to who can defend and no second opportunities off the offensive boards.
Lance Amir Paul with 28 huge minutes tonight. Merrick Nelson. Here's Spencer. Foul on HCU. Mox Heincheck. Only number 2 on Mox.
1+1 for Spencer. Pierce Spencer shooting 47%. 1+1. In case he misses it, you got to block out.
Number 8 on HCU there, just 47%.
Still a lot of time, 2:33 to go in the game. You got to take your time. You can't rush. Stay in your offense. Stay in your presence. Run what you normally run.
2,107 career points at nearby Lake Creek High School playing under his dad. Big shots there for the local kid. 2-point game in Houston. Sam Hoffman. Baki Mehring. Tie game.
Great offense then, getting it inside to your big man.
Huskies bring pressure. Lance Amir Paul. Ten to shoot. Loose ball. Del Cadilla. Travel.
Good call. Really good call. Ball was up, out. Now, game's tied up 85-85. You might want to run the same little play you ran last time. And what they do, they run a little ball screen. King goes through, goes off the high post, and he comes back out and hit Marion inside. Now, I know that maybe I said that too fast, but that's the basics of what they're going to do.
It's as simple as that, right?
That's what I would run again, because I would run the same play again to see if Nicholls could guard it. Get it in. Don't run any clock. Run your regular offense. Run the little screen play.
HCU looking to break its 3-game losing
streak. Go
streak.
run the same play again.
Whoa, it's getting chippy.
But I think Andrew King has to get it under control right now for HCU. He cannot. He's letting a lot of little holding, a little tripping this and all of that kind of stuff. It's bothering him a little bit. I don't mean that bad. I know he's getting hurt. He's getting fouled. But you got to be able to control yourself when the score's 85-85.
And the referees will converge. And if you're Drew King, HCU's true freshman point guard, you cannot take a 5th foul. So our referees continue to deliberate here. Eric Cornabush, Stephen Chiara, and Ryan Huber, our crew. There's a look at HCU's point guard with head coach Ron Cottrell. 85-85, final 90 seconds here from Houston.
Yeah, but I think right now, one of the assistant coaches has got to get to King a little bit and say, we don't need all this other stuff. You're getting fouled. Yeah, you got held. But they called the foul. Okay, they're going to knock the ball out of your hands.
We're set to get an explanation from Eric Cornabush. Common foul,
okay,
and then a dead ball contact foul.
What we got right now, I'm going to explain this. You got a common foul. King's going to get to shoot 2 free throws, okay? Bryson Long now is going to shoot a technical, which is 2 of them, for a technical foul on 0. And now, once this free throw is up with, they're going to come back then and go to the line, and now King's going to shoot like a regular free throw. They're going to shoot 2 of them. See, here's the difference, Garrett. In the old days, anytime you got a technical, you got the ball back. So then they would reverse that, shoot King's free throws first, Bryson's second, and then go from there. Once again, we talk about if you're Nicholls, you got to be under control. You didn't need to slap the ball out of King's hand. Let it go.
Drew King with an opportunity to give HCU some separation.
But just remember this, anytime you're trying to protect the lead in your HCU, it's important that you get the second shot. Don't let Nicholls shoot the ball and get an offensive rebound.
4-point lead for HCU. It ties their largest of the game as Ron Cottrell takes a timeout. If you're Austin Claunch in that Nicholls huddle, they've seen a 9-point lead evaporate, including a 3-point lead here late. What's your message?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. If you're in red right now and you're Nicholls, you're trying to get up and down, and you're trying to get it to your best players, and your best players in the game at this time is Jones, and the player that's playing really, really well for you right now at this point in time is number 0. He's just playing outstanding, Nelson. And so that's where you're trying to go with the ball. But right now, knowing them, they just gonna come down and take the first good shot they can get. But the player that if I'm HCU that I'm worried about is Jones.
How about the scoring distribution tonight for HCU? Max Kleincheck has taken it upon himself here tonight to try to will HCU to the win. They've knocked down 14 3-pointers in 32 tries. Nicholls going the length of the floor. 90 seconds left to work with, playing with a sense of urgency. Trying to break their 2-game slide. Spencer with a tough shot. Pierce has 11.
Spencer does a nice job of dribbling the length of the court. You cannot let him go that far. You got to make him shoot the ball from outside. But King does a nice job. Run it. Turnover.
Turnover. HCU basketball. Bryson Long couldn't handle it. Bonky Mary trying to argue that Long was fouled there, and they will take a replay. Bonky also bringing up the possibility maybe it was tipped. I feel like that's something that just very seldom gets discussed, Coach Chancellor. At this point in the game, there's a ton of fatigue. You're covered in sweat, right? You played 40 physical minutes of basketball. How do you reel it in and try to finish off these final 64 seconds?
When you play like that, you just got to forget that. You're not tired. You watch it right there. Okay. There's no question Long knocked the ball out of bounds. I think that you can't get in a hurry like that. You got to kind of come down and slow down with the ball a little bit. You got to lead with 1:04. I've always thought when it gets to about 1:10, you run a little clock at that time. But now that's happening. You can't dwell upon that. You got to go something new. Now, right now, you'll see it. Okay, you see King taking the ball left. You don't get in there. You're going to pass it kind of nonchalantly left-handed. There's no doubt. You got to take the ball in. But if you're HCU, you got to remember you got a 2-point lead, and you got to be able to protect the baskets. You can't allow penetration, and not only no penetration from him. You got to realize that Jones is a really good 3-point shooter. Don't let him make the 3-pointer to go ahead.
Think about the lessons learned here from HCU last Saturday. They took a 1-point loss to Texas A&M Commerce on the road as C.J. Roberts hit a layup to win, trying to protect a late lead here tonight.
Okay, now you're HCU. You go to a 2-3 zone. You got to watch zone. I mean Jones, not zone, but watch Jones.
Spencer, halfway down, it would have given them the lead.
I like to switch it to a zone. That stopped penetration. Coach, good coaching right there, Coach Cockler. You went to the 2-3 zone. King's got the ball. Run the clock down.
Final 35 seconds from Houston. Max Kleincheck. Turnover. But first a foul. Nicholls can't believe it. It's on the Colonels.
Bryson Long's running down through here. He taking you see when you think something bad's gonna happen, you take a sign of relief.
He got away from something.
He thought they turned the ball over. Second of all, he thought that they got a block. That might HCU might have got a break there.
And
but
Austin
now
Claunch will burn the timeout.
But now Huffman's got to make the 2 free throws to take advantage. They're taking a full timeout. What a game. I enjoy doing this kind of game on TV. Exciting. Got every play you can have.
27.9 showing on the second half clock. Garrett Jones, the Hall of Fame head coach, Van Chancellor on hand. Think about what HCU's been through over the past year, really. Of course, you lose your late teammate Darius Lee. Rod Neely, a Husky legend, also tragically passed away with a heart attack in December. I mentioned, they've had some growing pains. They've had some good stuff, too. They beat A&M Corpus on this very floor 2 Saturdays ago. They're trying to take it to a team at the top of the Southland standings with a ton of preseason expectations. Coach, a win here tonight would mean a lot for this program.
I don't think there's any doubt. You just played a red-hot Northwestern State team in here the other night. A win right now at home gives you a chance to move up in the standings. You've beaten a very good Nicholls team if you can pull it off. But here's what you got to do. You got less than 30 seconds, 27.9. You got to get up, step up, make some free throws, and then get back and don't give up the 3 ball. When you got a lead, you don't want another team to tie it. If they make a 2, then they got to foul you. If they make a 3 and you're up 3, they don't have to foul you.
HCU outscoring Nicholls 47-43 in this second half. They have been clinical at the free throw line tonight and really all season long. 19 of 22 at the stripe as a team tonight.
I think that we talk about Classic Check coming in and getting 24, but at the same time, I think Sam Huffman's made the difference in the basketball game coming off the bench. Looks like when he doesn't start, he plays with a little more fire and energy.
Clutch. HCU back up by 4. Now your back's really against the wall if you're Nicholls.
Yeah, but you've got to look at it now. You better watch for Huffman. Huffman, he's shooting 43% from the line. That's who you got to watch.
Nicholls leading scorer, just 3 of 13 from the field tonight. Del Cadilla. Spencer. Right on time. Pierce Spencer delivers. 1-point game. Oh, man. Kleincheck threw it away. And Drew King is very slow to get up. Mox Kleincheck just missed his point guard. Clock stops with 18.2, and Drew King gets stretched out by his teammate.
Yeah, but I think the guards have got to come down earlier. I don't think there's any reason to check this one out. I don't think there's any doubt that it went off of King's hand. But I think you got to go in and.
There was some contact there late between King and Pierce Spencer. That's why Drew hit the floor. So how about this for Nicholls? They come down the floor in just 6 seconds. They get a quick bucket.
Yep.
And now the turnover for HCU. They'll have the basketball back with a chance to hold for the last shot.
Now, I don't like to hold. Get it in bounds, get the first look you get. If you make it, get back on defense and play. If you miss it, it gives you a chance to extend the game by taking a foul.
(19-12) showing on the game clock.
You got 2 scorers in the game at this time, Huffman and Jones. And Nelson ain't been bad. They got 3 options to go to right now.
1-point lead for HCU. Crowd roaring to life as they get the clock sorted out. Nicholls had a 9-point lead in the first half. They are 40-10 in Southland play over their last 2 seasons. They do not give away games in this league very often. HCU trying to make sure they secure this one at home. Here's Spencer. 12 seconds. Spencer, no. Rebound loose. Who's got it? Spencer, no, but he's fouled. 7.2 on the game clock. And Drew King is fouled out of this basketball game. And HCU arguing that Spencer traveled there trying to get free. They're lucky he was not able to finish there.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll be talking about a three-point play. Nicholls was down 91-87 with 24 seconds left in this game.
Still got 7 seconds.
And you have a relatively poor free throw shooter in Pierce Spencer going to the line. He's 3 of 4 tonight, just 47% on the season. Ice cold to tie the game.
You got to make sure now you block out.
One more for Pierce Spencer, the hometown kid from Porter, Texas. Nicholls on top. And a timeout granted to Austin Clunch. 7.2 left on the game clock. HCU will get the basketball. Coach, what's the message here late?
I think first of all, you got to get it in bounds. Then you got to dribble and you got to take the ball the length of the court. And you got to be able to take it. And whoever's got the ball has got to try to go to the rack, draw a foul. I don't think there's much time right now to take, unless you get double teamed. It's going to be hard to go the length of the court, pitch it to somebody and them score. I think that I've always said getting the ball in bounds in these situations. On the possession before, when they were up 1, you got to get the ball in bounds. That would have been a time you wanted to get the ball in bounds to Long, but they just cut him off. But right now, you got to forget all of that other stuff and believe you can pull this game out right now.
1-point spread. What a game it has been. 17 ties tonight, 12 lead changes between 2 Southland Conference heavyweights. Given everything they have here this evening for position within this very even lead. Max Kleinchik has 24 points for HCU. Bryson Long with 19. The Huskies have knocked down a season-high 14 triples this evening. Who will get the last shot for Ron Cottrell's bunch? Trying to walk away with some flair for the Dramatics. Kleinchik into Long. 6 seconds. Pierce Basil lost it with 4. Nicholls on the steal. That'll do it. The Colonels have stolen one in Sharp Gym. Tough pill to swallow if you're Houston Christian, Coach.
I think Coach Cocker was really upset with officiating throughout the game. I think that's a tough way. This is one of the toughest losses I've seen this team go through. When they went up 91-87, you thought they had the game won.
Yeah, Austin Klonch looks like he got away with something. Congratulations to Nicholls. Well-played game all the way throughout. Unfortunately, HCU comes up a little short. Again, they fall flat at the buzzer. They lost to A&M Commerce in a relatively similar way last week. And again, they fall by 1 tonight to extend their their losing streak to 4. Coach Chancellor, thanks so much for your time. Great job as always.